Welcome back to Ohio Boys Podcast.
What's up, everybody?
As you can see, we're not in the same spot. We're somewhere different today.
When it turns red like that,
We're somewhere in Akron, Ohio. We're very happy to be here at a very
the Poetry Cafe.
I don't know.
The Poetry Cafe.
Poetry Cafe in Akron, Ohio. How you guys feeling today?
Hungover.
I'm angry
That's crazy. Y'all shouldn't be hungover. Why are you angry?
because of this list we're about to talk about, Tyler.
Oh damn! Just let's get
We're
right
gonna
into
get
it.
right into it.
Phil, since you brought it up to us, break it down.
So, there's a website, publication, whatever you want to call it, called IndieWire, and they released their top 70 animated shows of all time. And we have a lot of gripes with this list because some
It's
of the
terrible.
placements were
It's a
kind of
shitty
cool,
list.
and a lot of them were jank.
I would say it's not a shitty list. I wouldn't say shitty.
That's a
I think
shitty
I
list.
feel like people call things shitty just to say they're shitty, but
I feel like the
I
people
wouldn't say it's
who
shitty.
the people who made this list have inherent biases that cloud their judgment. That's all I'm gonna say.
They're old.
They're
Whoa.
old.
They're
I was
old
saying-
niggas.
I was-
That's all that is.
I think
They
we-
don't-
I
they
think
don't
we
watch
also
enough.
have biases because you guys were talking shit on King
No,
of the
I think
Hill.
there's
Like it's not
huge-
a great written show.
It's not a great
It's
written
not a
show.
great
It
written
is
So-
no, like
No,
all of the
Hold on,
characters
before we
are
go
written
into
so
before we
well.
go into detail, guys.
It's not even
So
like a favorite of
the
mine.
generalities of this list, the biggest gripes that we have, one, we feel like that Adult Swim shows are being given way too many flowers.
Time out. Can I just say this? I don't agree with that part because a lot of Adult Swim shows are amazing written
But the
shows.
way that they set up this list, it's those shows are not better than things that they put under them.
Rick and Morty,
Like
is
we're
Rick and Morty
gonna
a top
talk-
20 show?
Like we're
Yes.
gonna
No.
talk about the
No.
regular
No.
show
Rick and
and where they
Morty's a-
put the regular show.
Rick and Morty is not a top 20 show.
Rick and Morty is a top 10
No.
animated
No.
animated show.
Rick and Morty
It's
is
a solid
100%.
show.
No.
It's,
And then-
it's oversucked.
And then another
But it's
gripe,
solid.
Top
we have with
20.
the list
Some-
is
Not top 20.
Top 20.
another gripe we have with this list is the disregard for anime, because the animes that they put on here doesn't really make any sense. It seemed like at first that they didn't really include anime, but then once you got further down the list,
Just added 80s anime.
you're like, where's the Dragon
80s
Ball?
and early
Where's
90s.
yeah?
But,
there's,
okay.
there's no One Piece on there from what I saw.
There's
There's
One
no
Piece,
Dragon
there's
Ball.
no Dragon Ball.
There's no Naruto.
But you put Sailor Moon
Naruto.
in Mobile Suit Gundam.
Naruto.
Mobile Suit Gundam is ass, by the way.
Fuck you, Tyler.
I think this
Well,
list is
so,
definitely put together by some Gen Xers. for
Oh,
sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I would say this.
Some older millennials maybe.
I'm not mad about the animes that they were included. I
'Cause
just
they're
feel like
good.
If you were gonna include them, I feel like
You have to put other animes on there.
this list should have been a little bit more skewed towards that type of animation. But again, it was a quick read into. We didn't really go over the whole criteria. Be like, all right, this is how they decided this list.
But the first crime is committed on the first page.
Where was Futurama on the list? It was like what, 59
It was like
or
40s,
something?
Yeah, it's
50s.
That is a crime right there. No,
But the first
Futurama
crime-
should be top 20.
The first crime that was committed was regular show at 69.
Regular show should be lower on the list, but regular show I'm putting like 30.
It's top 30 for sure, but it's not.
Like I'm putting it like at a smooth 30,
Do you want me to
29.
tell you what's?
At easy 25.
Do you know what's above the regular show right now?
Teen Titans Go.
a lot of bullshit?
A lot
Teen
of
Titans
bullshit.
Go should not be on the list.
This
It should not be on the list.
No, Teen Titans could be on the list.
Teen Titans could be on the list.
An amazing show.
Teen
So the
Titans
things-
Go is cool and all, but is
I
it
still
like
watch
top
Teen
50
Titans Go.
all time? No.
So what's above
okay,
regular
think
show?
of it this way: regular Teen Titans isn't on the list, but Teen Titans Go is.
Well,
That's a crime.
That is a
That
crime.
is a crime. You're
That's a
right,
crime.
That's a war
but-
crime.
That's treason.
but
Yeah.
guess what? Teen Titans Go is amazing.
But guess what? War crimes don't get answered until 30 years plus later, so they're not going to
They
answer for their sins.
declassified this list.
They have to declassify the documents.
I'm about to say.
They put Robot Chicken though above the regular show, which
It's
is
a good show, but that's like you open the list with that or something.
You
That's,
open-
that's like a good
yeah,
like 70
that's an
or
honorable
65
mention.
something.
that's like a
It was cool. It had a lot of cultural influence for like its time and shit.
It's
but-
a
It was
skit.
shock.
It's like a
It was
Mad TV
fucking
type thing.
Just shock culture. Like
I mean,
just-
yeah, but like, would you put South Park on the list?
Yes.
South Park was
Yeah.
just shock humor for like 10 seasons.
But they had
No, no,
actual
it's
story.
different, though.
For
No, no,
like 10
it's
Robot
different.
Chicken is
No,
just
that's
skits.
that's a whole episode's worth of shock humor, as to where Robot Chicken is 2-minute shock sketches.
Yeah.
They had several things in a smaller runtime. They were 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, they're
South Park's
15-minute
20
episodes.
minutes without like the intro and
That's
outro.
true. Yeah, all the commercials that you have is
Still a different format.
it is
Yeah.
a different format.
One was shorter sketches to fill a 15-minute block,
and there was
one
no
had a
plot
whole
to it.
episode.
There's
You
no
can have
plot
the
to
It wasn't
Robot
a plot.
Chicken.
It was a menagerie of sketches. Like
It's
it was
just like
it was
a,
just
hey,
a
look
different
at this
format.
one.
It doesn't
South
make
Park?
it better or
No,
worse.
we're talking about Robot Chicken.
Oh,
It had no plot to it.
But no, my argument is just that if you're gonna say, "Oh, that was just shock humor," it's like, yeah, so was a lot of shit.
I have a question,
There's a
guys.
difference between a story-building shock humor show and a literal. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes of some weird claymation shit, and then nasty random shit happens.
I feel like that just disqualifies you from being on the list because you can't really compete.
I wouldn't say disagree. I wouldn't say like you shouldn't be on the list. Like I think
It disqualifies
Robot
you
Chicken,
from being high on the list.
I
If,
feel
if
like
I had to pick between the two, I would put South Park on the list over Robot Chicken. But like Robot Chicken deserves its flowers. I feel like it's been oddly forgotten about for
Yeah,
how
'cause
kind
it's
of
on a
popular it was
niche-
at a time.
It's on a niche like
2
not a
in
lot
the
of
morning
people
block.
know. Not a lot of people know about Adult Swim. First of all, and second of all, there's not really a lot of nostalgia built up.
I feel like a
because-
lot of people know about Adult Swim. I feel like
No.
you learn about Adult Swim
Dude,
at a
when
very
we were,
early
when
age.
we were growing up, I didn't know
I
about
knew
Adult
all about
Swim
Adult
until I
Swim.
started staying up past
No,
9:30.
because look, Cartoon Network would be on at my house, and then as my parents were putting us to bed, Adult Swim would transfer in. So like,
yeah, it
I
would turn
started
on
watching-
at 9:30.
I easily started watching Adult Swim when I was like 10.
But I mean,
No, I'm with
did you have
Tyler
a
on this
bedtime?
one.
I did have a
you
bedtime.
were
What was your
also
bedtime
on
at?
Best
Like
Door when
8,
you were 10.
but
so.
again,
And
on the weekends, like you sit there, you would watch things like
See, I was always playing video
the
games.
Venture is like
the Venture Bros.
Yes,
Venture Bros.
I watch
Also
shit like
very
that.
solid show.
Aquaforce. Aquaforce is a really good show, really solid show. Very shocky, they just did random shit just to do it, no real story
That's a
to
great
it.
example of shock humor.
Venture
And
Bros?
no,
No,
Aqua
Aqua Teen
Teen
Hun-
Hunger Force. And they had an actual plot to the thing. They had structure to each episode.
I
But
didn't
okay,
like
to be
Aqua
fair,
Teen Hunger
I feel
Force,
like
but I was also really young when I watched it and never checked it out when I was older.
I feel like, especially about South Park. If I were to say anything about South Park, I would say South Park was very much like after like let's say like the first 9 seasons, it became more of a how you would say Family Guy or American
The fact
Dad
that
is.
Family
In the
Guy
sense
is
that
not on
it's
this
kind of a
list.
reflection of
They had-
society.
They
and
kind of had to change. 'Cause
It's
at
very
that point,
easy to do that, though.
Being so counterculture and like different and edgy, whatever, for so long, and then you got so big and so popular that even if you were counterculture in essence, you were just the culture.
And they
you
got
were
so
that
much
big
older.
in pop culture that you had to change because you could not
Right.
operate with the same formula.
And they got so much older, like with time. Like that's just how their humor changed,
But
and that's how
they're
they started writing it.
still in the 4th grade.
No. I'm talking about the writers of the
I
show.
know, I'm just saying. I would love
like
to.
eventually like if you're doing something, South Park's been on for like 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
Like 23, 24 years. They started in 99, right?
They're on like season like
26.
26.
Yeah.
And this is an amazing
They
season.
started in 99 too, I think. 99 or 98. So when you're doing something for that long, you got to change it up.
2 seasons in the same year. So
I want to circle back to the list
What's that?
because we're getting off topic.
Can I just say this?
Go ahead.
You're Cartman. You're most definitely like
Kyle.
Stan.
no, he's got to be.
I
He's
knew he
Stan.
was gonna say
I
Stan.
called Mark
He's
Stan at the interviews
No,
at the thing.
he's
Why am I Stan?
he
Butters.
not Butters. He's
Craig.
He's Kyle. He's Kyle.
Definitely
He's
Kyle.
Stan. He's Kyle, and I'll be Kenny.
You bastards.
Why
I
you
mean, he
Kenny?
does always have the hoodie on. Does always have the hood up.
But we can understand what he's saying though.
Barely half the time.
Hey,
Gremlin.
it is
Now,
what it is.
Tyler's come a long way. With this mic
I'd
game.
honestly say this, Javier, you and Cartman share more than just the size together.
The attitude.
That's-
Sick nigga.
No,
The
he's not
hatefulness.
wrong.
And what about it? Y'all trying to go to Casa Bonita?
no.
What the fuck is that?
About the
You never
Chili
heard?
Con
You don't
Carnival.
remember the Casa Bonita
That's
commercial?
the episode
Your
where
episode?
he was like lying to Kyle about being his friend, and they went to the birthday party, and then he snuck in. And he did everything in like 5 minutes, and he was like taking pictures with the mariachi band.
But his mom wouldn't take him there.
Cartman's a great character, but let's get back to the list. As you were saying, Phil,
I want to talk about the biggest travesty of them all on this list.
what's the travesty?
Big Mouth being top 10.
I don't think it's a travesty.
I think the
It is
biggest
a
travesty
it
is
is a
number one.
goddamn war crime.
As
think-
someone who enjoys Big Mouth, literal
Should not
low-key child pornography that's on
It's-
Netflix
no,
being
it's-
top 10 is ridiculous.
should not even
Yeah.
crack top 50. Should not
disagree
come,
with
should
that.
Not
No, top
scratch
50
top
I
's
50.
don't think there are that many shows. Like if you want to move it down to like 15 or something, that's the lowest.
That's
I
No,
would
that's
wild.
too
It
much.
You
should
think
not-
Popeye's
that's
better
the-
than Big Mouth?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
disagree.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think Big Mouth is a good show, just period.
Did you guys see Tom and Jerry on that list?
Nope.
Tom and Jerry definitely should have been on that
Let's
list.
say
If that's a crime.
that's better.
Was SpongeBob
Is
on the
Looney
list?
Tunes?
Yes, it was at like
Looney
30.
Tunes on the list?
No.
No.
Popeyes can't be on the list. Come
Popeye
on,
can't be
cuz.
on the list.
You can't do that to me like that.
The best thing was waking up.
Popeye's not better than Looney Tunes. It's not better than the Mickey Mouse show.
Like what does?
I remember waking up-
I was
slapstick-
never a Mickey Mouse dude.
I
so I got a bit
remember
of a
waking
bias,
up
but I'm
at
with
2 in
you
the
on
morning
Looney
watching
Tunes.
the Mickey Mouse show.
Which one?
What
The
does
one where
violent
they were
humor
in the
better?
theater. They were in the theater. Everybody pulled up in the limousine.
Oh no, that's not. Is that on the list?
No, it's not on the
No,
list.
none of Mickey
That's
Mouse
just
is
a
on the
clip
list.
show, Tyler.
Oswald, none of Disney is on the list. There was
How
not a
Recess
single
not there?
They didn't make a lot of
There ain't no
cartoons.
Recess?
Recess wasn't on there. McGilla Gorilla. There wasn't a lot of like older cartoons.
Where's
like the
where
90s.
Kimmy at?
Disney doesn't make
Possible's not
cartoons
on there.
anymore.
Hey, listen, this is crazy.
Where's Kick
This is
Buttowski?
illegal.
Where it's supposed
It
to be.
shouldn't
not
be on
the
the list. Should not be on the list.
I don't know how. I do not know how Gravity Falls is where it is.
Gravity Falls deserved to be where it was.
It did it.
Like
I
I
feel
don't
like
think Gravity
12?
Falls is better than any of the top three Cartoon Network shows.
It's so good.
It
It's
is
so good,
It's
dude.
very good.
but it's not better. It's not better than Steven.
It's
It's
no, it
not
wasn't.
better than Adventure Time.
I think Tom
And
Jerry,
it's
Tom
not
and
better than
Jerry
Red
should be
Show.
Even
top
was like
5.
7. It was in a better spot on the list than that. So Gravity Falls was like 12.
I don't remember seeing Adventure Time either. I ain't gonna lie.
Adventure
to
Time
nobody.
was 9,
So you guys
was
like?
top 10.
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think
and it
that?
deserved to be like top 5.
Do you guys think that a deep plot is necessary for a top 5 cartoon?
It is not essential or necessary, but I do think it is a benefit.
I don't think it is at times.
It's
I
not
think
necessary.
I think
You can
Tom and
have-
Jerry is top
I
5.
think the anime,
Basically off pure cultural influence, and that nobody does pure violence humor like Tom and Jerry.
that's fair.
We can't have it ever
but at the
again.
same time, if you look at why anime period is so popular, is because it's an animated show with a deep story.
But in this, I don't think you can include anime.
You can't, but I'm saying
'Cause
like that's my
anime
comparison.
isn't
the
really
deep
like
story of
cartoons.
anime is what makes anime,
Anime
so
is
popular.
cartoons. It's
not
animated.
It's
It's
not.
just
It's not the same thing though.
It's not American.
time
Tyler.
out. Yes, it.
I
yes,
think they
it
should
is.
have. I think they should have
It
made
is.
a prompt for this list.
I
The
would
prompt
say-
matters.
I feel like my biggest gripe on the list is I felt like there could have been more animes that could have been included because if you did
One
include,
Piece.
Yep.
Yeah, the fact that that's not on the list is a crime too.
but
One Piece is top 4.
No,
I can't say that.
Top 4 like animated shows all time.
that's
I can't
crazy.
say
No,
that.
One
I
Piece-
don't
no,
know
One
about
Piece is
that.
I
top
can't
4.
say that.
It might be number 4 or 5.
If we're just going off story, if we're just going off story
No, we're not
alone-
going off story. We're going
No,
off
no, I'm just
everything.
saying if
The
story
animation
alone, yes.
in One Piece is crazy. The
It's not
story
that.
is
It's-
ridiculous.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't
That's
say
what-
that.
Later,
And then
later
again-
One Piece.
That's why I
Wano,
would.
One Piece. The rest of it's spotty and shaky.
Dog, it started in the 1990s.
Hold on a second. Can I
you
give?
see some of the shows on the list?
Can I
Look at
throw
that
a wrinkle?
animation. It was
Can I
gross
throw a
too.
wrinkle into
Their
this?
animation
Yes.
was arguably better than One Piece animation
So-
back in the day.
I feel like it's valuable for a cartoon to have good episodes that you could just watch once and understand exactly what's going on. I feel like that's also valuable on this list. If I'm trying to like get into anything, right? Especially with kids having short attention spans and stuff, that's mostly what cartoons
But
are
this
marketed
isn't
to.
about cartoons.
No, this is
Animated
about
shows and
animated
cartoons
shows
are
too.
different.
But
A
cartoons,
cartoon is a
cartoons
part of
started
animated
it all.
shows.
Cartoons started
This
it all.
is true. But when you say animated shows, you're talking about everything animated.
That's why
Anything that you
BoJack
go to a
But
Horseman-
it's
studio.
not though. It clearly isn't. It doesn't mean that.
Look at what's on the top of the list.
Are you good?
I just say
Listen, if this is why if you make a list like this, you need a prompt because if you're gonna not include anime and just turn a blind eye to all the anime that's dropped in the last 20 plus years, and just include some shit from the 80s, like there's a problem with
especially when the '90s was high
that.
key
You need
better.
to make an
Hunter
animated
x Hunter's
shows
not
list
on the list.
and then a cartoons list because it means different things to different people.
I just say
It's really hard because as far as like cultural influence and enjoyability and stuff, like it's really hard to gauge that when you're putting two completely different things up against each other.
I'd also say this. I
It's
feel
apples
like
and
there are a
oranges.
lot of, especially '90s anime. I think what's Sailor Moon's like that like mid '80s, and then Cowboy Bebop is like late '80s, early '90s. I feel like shows like Dragon Ball, but Hunter x Hunter,
Dragon
like
Ball
the
started in '87. That's when Dragon Ball came out.
oh yeah, you're
Dragon
right.
Ball Z.
They clearly
the
didn't
popular
watch it.
Americanized one came out in like '95.
But like I would say a show like Hunter x Hunter, like that is like the original before they remade it for like and redid the animation and all that. That's easily a top 10 animated show if we're including anime onto the list. Like that's easily
I think
a
the
it's
top
not-
10
it's
show.
not the same thing, though.
It should just be its own list.
How are you?
It should
How are
be its own
you
list, but at the same time,
comparing?
You can't. I get that Hunter x Hunter at the time could have been at that, but you can't throw shows on there that were never finished because you don't know.
And how can you compare that to Tom and Jerry or like Popeye? You can't.
I don't think
You
Tom and
can't.
Jerry, but I'm not. I would put Tom and Jerry on the list, but I'm not putting it high on the list. I'm putting Tom and
Oh,
Jerry.
no, it's high on the list.
It's in the 20s.
No, it's top
I was
10
like
at least.
30.
It's top
Tom and
10.
Jerry
30,
had
top
40.
50
Tom and
spot.
Jerry had a 50-year run of just greatness.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But
50
again,
years.
compared to what's released since, you're
Because
not
they
a top
can't-
10 show.
They can't do what they used to do anymore. They don't allow that on TV.
They definitely would allow that on TV. It's just not as
No,
popular.
they
of a
don't
format.
allow it on TV
If
anymore.
you look
They
at how
don't
Tom
allow
and Jerry
violence.
changes, the violence got less and less, and they started talking because they couldn't do the humor that they were doing. But the humor that was in Tom and Jerry stems from like Sambo cartoons. It stems from
How you
racism.
niggas say there is no violence?
So did every other cartoon
When
at that
legit in
No, no.
Teen Titans Go, they shot Bruce's parents on TV. They killed Bruce's parents.
I think it was.
Yeah.
It's a different type of violence, and it's where that violence comes from. Like, okay, when Tom would be smoking a cigar and it would explode and he would turn into blackface, Tyler, they can't do that now on TV.
He's like, how
Okay.
is it blackface if it's a cat?
No, it's blackface. He explodes. He turns black, and his lips are huge. It comes from Sambo cartoons.
I didn't know that.
Again, I just gotta say, I'm not putting Tom and Jerry like top, but it'll be on the list for sure. It'll be on the list
It's
like
top 10 for
50.
sure.
You're bugging,
It's
but
top 10
that's
for sure.
fine.
I don't think it's top
the
10.
cultural influence
Looney
and the
Tunes?
run.
Looney Tunes is top 15.
Looney Tunes
top
doesn't exist
25.
anymore at that point.
Top 25.
I hate what they did to Looney Tunes.
Tyler,
yes.
you had a gripe with number 1 on the list, right?
We all
It was
do.
BoJack Horseman.
We all do.
BoJack Horseman, top 5. But I don't know if it's number 1.
You think it's top
I don't know
five?
about. I don't know
Have
what
you
I
watched the whole show?
I watched. I stopped watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, you
know
should
what?
go
Before-
back
I was
because
gonna
it's
say,
really
before I hate
fucking
on
good.
BoJack Horseman, the most thing I've ever seen is XXX Tentacion edits of BoJack on TikTok.
That's
But it
crazy.
just seems so corny that I just didn't want to watch
I
it.
just
Because
say,
the same people.
Yeah,
He acts
putting
like an X fan.
Putting like
That's why.
cringy X edits over anything is fucking awful. You know how many shitty like Naruto and Rick and Morty with like X and Juice World edits there have been? It's fucking greasy, dude.
And people think they're doing something when they do it.
I'm gonna start posting them on my story.
And you get like them with like the Supreme like bar logos and shit. It's terrible.
I would say this. I'm not gonna shit on it, but I'll say this. I like where they had the Justice League. A lot of the DC shows.
Were they?
I like where they were.
I didn't get to the
Batman
top
being
of the
top.
list.
What was it? Number 5.
I think yeah.
The Batman, animated series.
Yes, definitely
Oh,
deserves
so
the top
good.
5 spot.
That deserves it for sure.
Yeah, Batman animated series at 5. Listen, there are a lot of listen, they did the DC justice because you can say live action movies, Marvel got them, whatever, but when it comes to the cartoons, hey,
Slaughter.
it's not close.
Well, not anymore.
I would say this.
Not anymore. They both don't care about it anymore.
That's a lie. Watch the Harley Quinns. Watch Harley Quinn on HBO Max. That's a fucking amazing
Don't
show.
go on HBO Max.
Well, you
That's
should.
your problem.
That
I'll
you
give
should.
you. I'll give you my
Young
HBO Max.
Justice.
Young Justice is
Young
great.
Justice should have been on the list.
Young Justice. is a
Young
good
Justice
show.
definitely should have been on the list.
Young Justice is an amazing.
But as he
Great
said
show.
earlier, if they aren't going to include shows that aren't finished, they're still working on Young Justice.
Yeah, they brought it back the same way they did with the Clone Wars.
I'm about to say I don't know. I don't know if they're.
No.
I don't. Clone
They
Wars
have-
is finished.
No, Young Justice came
Is
back.
Bob's Burgers
No,
finished?
they finished. They
I
wrapped
think
up
so.
season 4. Also, no, they also have
South
shows
Park
that are
isn't
still
over.
going.
South Park isn't over.
They have
That's
shows that are
different.
still
That has
going.
25 years of fucking airtime, Mark.
Okay. But
When
it's
you're-
not finished.
But no, that's completely different. It's different to stop a show and it be stopped for 10 years and you don't get the full story. And then South Park isn't a story-based show. They fuck
It
with.
really is.
Bob Burgers
No, no,
is
no.
Bob Burgers
it's-
started in
South Park has
2011 and
lore.
it's still
It's an
going.
episode
It's
to
still
episode.
going?
Yes,
Okay.
Bob Burgers is still going.
It's an episode to episode thing.
Bob's
Mark.
Burgers is on the list.
Mark, those are episode to episode shows. Like, okay, if One Piece stopped right now, it'd be completely different than if South Park stopped right now because they've been on for the same amount of time. And One Piece is the very first episode leads up to the very last episode, as to where the cow episode of South Park has nothing to do with the pandemic special.
It kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
It kind of does.
Mark, no, it doesn't. They've been in 3rd grade for 25 years.
4th grade.
4th grade.
My bad.
4th grade. Don't get them
Put some
wrong.
respect on them.
Put some
There are
respect
more
on
episodes than days of the year, which means that they couldn't have been in 4th grade. So the story does not matter. It's episode to episode.
Y'all saw
What's
Clone
up?
High made the list?
Clone. Yes, I did.
Nothing bad as ever.
I saw that.
Kennedy.
God,
I'm
so
not gonna
excited.
lie to you.
They're bringing Clone High back, dude.
I saw
so
it.
excited.
I saw that and I was like, I instantly was like, oh,
Without-
Phil would be happy with this.
Without what's his name? Gandhi.
I'm pretty sure they're taking Gandhi out, but they're bringing in new characters. And they're starting from where it left off in season 1. It's about to be, I think it's on HBO Max when it comes out. Dude.
HBO Max is cornering the
They
cartoon.
should add
Juice.
Nixon.
Because they
Nixon
legit
and
have
Bowie,
ownership. They
that'd be
have
fun.
ownership of Warner. They have ownership of DC. A lot of the good cartoon, making places. They own it, and rightfully so. I'm more happy that they haven't just tried to like redo everything. That's a very nice thing.
Dexter's Laboratory should be higher. That's a crime. That's a all-time cartoon.
See, I disagree.
Dexter's Lab was good. Like I wouldn't be mad if you put it at a better spot on the list, but I would want to see what you're trying to switch out for it.
Is that Ed and Eddie?
Teen Titans Go can be going.
Disagree.
It's not even top 50.
Swap it for
That's
real
fine.
Teen Titans.
Or you
This
keep
is
it on
so
the list.
bad.
You take off King of the Hill, where you were King
King
of
of
the
the
Hill.
Hill's a
was-
good
Hill's
show.
a better show than both of them.
No, it's
Take,
not.
no, it's not. I
The
would
fact
say
that
not
the
better.
fact that American Dad is not on this list is a crime.
Yes.
My
and
Little
no.
Pony can't be on the list.
All right, I
We're talking about animated shows.
If
That's
we're
an
gonna,
animated show,
if we're
though.
gonna
You
talk-
never watched My Little Pony? That shit was low-key gas.
if we are
I
gonna
have
talk
nieces.
about
I have nieces. I have like
can't
5
let
or
that
6
one
nieces.
slide. I can
I'm not gonna lie,
that
Powerpuff
one
I've
Girls?
been babysitting my whole life. My Little Pony was on the TV at one point.
Sure.
Okay, I do have a
So
grape.
what, I'm a
I have a
brownie?
grape at
I
34.
knew you were scuzz.
At 34, Over the Garden Wall. That's not it.
What even
Why?
is that?
Why isn't
It's
the
a-
Boondocks?
Over the Garden Wall
Why-
was
It's
amazing.
good. It
But
was
I'm
good.
not putting it at 34.
Not putting it on the
Tyler,
list.
why is Boondocks at 40?
Boondocks should definitely be at a better spot than 40.
Boondocks
Top
is
20.
top 25.
Like top 20. I put it at
Give
20.
Yeah,
I'm
I
about
was
to put it
about
exactly
say
at 20.
I am the stone that the butter
SpongeBob should
refused.
probably be.
So
higher.
there's
SpongeBob
another.
has a incredibly fair placement. Where is it on the list?
It
SpongeBob got terrible
is-
after season 2.
No, season 4.
I lost it.
Time out.
No, because there was still
36?
good shit in season
36.
3, and then season 4 was really spotty. Season 5 and onwards, bad.
They had to
'Cause
change
after
the
that,
show
they had,
completely. They had to change it completely.
Yeah, because all the writers got fired.
Yeah.
That was when the Writer's strike happened, right?
No, the writer's strike happened like 2007 or something like that. The writer's strike happened when like Destroy Build Destroy and Dude What Would Happen and shit like that.
They
started
started
popping
doing
off.
those like
When
live
all of
action
these,
shows.
when Cartoon Network and
Destroy-
Disney and Nickelodeon and all them just started pumping out
Live
really
action
cheap
shows.
and
oh, like
easy to
Crash
produce.
and Bernstein.
Yes, because they didn't have to hire writers and they didn't have to pay to animate it.
Destroy Build Destroy was gas.
No,
It was very
wasn't.
fun.
I
and
just
shout out
say that.
Andrew WK.
I just say this. Primal. I don't know why Primal's on this list.
I never watched it, so I can't really judge
I don't
it.
know why Primal's on the list. Good little like action thingy, but Primal shouldn't be on this list. That's you're doing too much. Like, there's just a few of them that I look. I'm like, what? Like, who watched this? Like,
This dude
Frisky-
Greg is a piece of
Greggy,
shit.
I hate you.
This
Frisky Dingo.
dude- I
Shout
thought
out
that was-
Geggy.
I really thought that was a
I thought
West Side shirt.
I was like,
Throw a
I
West
would
Side
not
shirt up
have-
there.
I would not be surprised.
Frisky Dingo. What is Who watched Frisky
I've
Dingo?
heard of it, but I've never watched it.
I'll take Frisky
There you
Dingo
go.
off this list.
Shout out West Side. Shout out our producer.
Shout out Geggy.
Yeah, put it over Tyler.
Why you blocking me?
So I have a.
I put it over Mark because Mark sucks and I like
Rick and
Tyler.
Morty's way too high.
Appreciate it. No, it's not. You're lying.
Rick and Morty should not be
Top 15. Yeah.
Top 25.
no.
Top 15. It's a top 15 show.
Slide it back.
Give it like
no.
30 tops.
If you're gonna put BoJack Horseman, you're gonna put
BoJack
BoJack Horseman at
should not
number
be
one.
BoJack Horseman is
If you're gonna put
so
BoJack
much
Horseman at
better
number-
than Rick and Morty, it's not even funny.
It's not. It's
so
not.
much better.
It really isn't.
What the fuck is The Critic?
I don't give a fuck about that. Do
What
you
year
guys
did it
know?
come
Okay, time out. There's a
94,
show.
dude. It was a 1-year run.
Hey, let me finish this.
Okay, Clone
You
High
need
had a
longevity
1-year
to be
run
great.
and it deserved its spot.
You
Wait,
need
what
longevity
show?
to be great.
Clone High. If you put it like 25 instead of whatever 19 that it was, something maybe like closer to 30, I wouldn't be mad.
I'll
Why
say
is
this
the
question.
Animaniacs on here?
Do you guys
It's
remember?
fucking awesome.
It's fucking awesome, but I don't know if it's top
Do
10.
you guys remember this cartoon? And the cartoon, I'm trying to think of it. they were like aliens from outer space, and they had these big battle suits. It wasn't like a mobile suit or like anything like that. I'm trying to think of the name.
Is it a CW show?
It's a Cartoon Network show. It was like
They had battle suits.
it was like mid 2000s, like 2010 era.
He's talking about Beetleborgs.
No,
It's not Beetleborgs.
Wait, what is the? It starts with a T.
I think
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where's Recess?
it had the the big blob guy who was like a robot for real.
Where's my phone?
Listen,
Why isn't Recess on this list?
I know exactly.
because they showed no love and no respect to any Disney show.
Not an animated show, but it is kind of polarizing. How did y'all feel about Mr. Meaty?
Ass.
I fucking loved Mr. Meaty.
It's because you're a fucking
It
degenerate.
was terrible.
Oh no, not T. Was it Voltron Force?
Is it Voltron Force?
It looks like Power Rangers shit.
Voltron was just an American.
That's not a cartoon
weird-
though. Like that's not animated.
Voltron was.
Voltron was animated.
Was it? Was it a Transform? Did you guys remember the Transformers cartoons? Those were great.
I didn't watch enough of them
This,
to
Tyler?
fairly rate them.
It was only one season.
Nah, not this. It's not this.
Fuck is that?
I just say
It was like a weird Power Rangers thing.
Did you guys ever have the displeasure of watching
Hello,
the
hello?
CW cartoons?
The what?
The CW cartoons?
List some.
What are you looking at?
It's recorded.
okay.
That'd be funny if it wasn't. That'd be
See,
hilarious.
That's
It'd be
crazy
sick.
because I can't name any off the top of my head. I think like Bakugan was one of them.
CW.
The CW.
Bakugan was Cartoon Network.
What was the one with the time machine? They had like a time machine.
Fuck if I know. But can we transition this to more other underrated shows like The Replacements or Mucha Lucha?
Mucha Lucha was great with the flea.
Yeah.
I like Mucha Lucha.
I don't
Camp
know any of these
Lazlo.
shows.
Do you remember Hero 108?
Yes, but I
No.
didn't like Hero 108 because they would, for the first season, they like did their own thing, and then seasons 2 and 3 they would revisit camps that they had already been at and act like it never happened, but the people on their team would be the same that they got from those camps.
I
Like
would
the
say
bunny with the nunchucks.
Mhm.
Why
I
was
was-
he on the season 2 team if they had never been to his island?
I would say this.
It's fair.
Total Drama could have been on this list.
Yep.
Total Drama could have. I still watch Total Drama.
I think
Total
Total
Drama
Drama could have been
was
on this list.
awesome.
Total Drama's like a
I think the later remakes of some of the Scooby-Doo shows, like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, could have been on the
great
list.
show.
That's an
I
underappreciated
feel
show.
like they have
Underappreciated.
Scooby-Doo on the list, and I feel like
They
they just
just
have
put
it
one
as
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
They just
I
put one
guess.
Scooby-Doo.
I would
But
say-
that's dumb though. You can't do that.
I mean, I see the argument, but like, there's a few different iterations of Scooby-Doo that are all good enough that they could have gotten mentions at different spots in this list.
But if
and if
we're
you just have like 6 eras of Scooby-Doo on your top 100 list, like,
No, because they're all not good.
not all of them, but there's a shit ton of Scooby-Doos.
I just say I'm not
There's a shit ton.
I'm not upset. I'm
Tom
not
and
upset,
Jerry-
but that is one of the underappreciated shows.
I agree.
Also, the mid 2000 remake of the Looney Tunes, who were like
No.
Bugs and
They're like roommates
underappreciated.
or whatever?
Where they were all
No,
kids?
they weren't kids. They were adults.
They were roommates, weren't they?
Yeah,
Where
Bugs
they all
and
lived in, like, the
When
same
Lola was like a
neighborhood?
weird crazy person who would like stalk
Lola?
him, and she like was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
low-key slow and would get him like hit by cars
Underappreciated.
and shit.
Not
That
saying
show
this-
was ass.
No, it wasn't. I loved it. I'm not gonna say it should have been on the list, but I would say
Lola
underappreciated
was
show.
like a weird IT
very
girl
funny.
Who was like
I-
slow.
I remember it because it used to come on after whatever I wanted to watch, and I would be watching TV at my grandma's house, and I would immediately go play with toys whenever it would come on.
Y'all are crazy. I love that show. That was a fucking great show. Love that show more than I love Chowder, and I really love Chowder.
Oh, you're
Was
you're
Chowder on this
bugging.
list?
No.
You can't pit. You just can't make. Listen, at some
That
point,
one's
at
isn't that
some
one
point,
unfinished though? Isn't that one
We're gonna
unfinished?
make our own
No,
list and we're gonna
Chowder's
put it on our
finished.
website.
I thought they
Chowder.
never like got the chance to finish Chowder
I'm pretty sure
They
Chowder's still
rushed the ending of Chowder, I'm pretty sure.
because they were getting booted and they didn't have enough time to finish it when they
Rah,
wanted to.
rah, rah.
on. Just how is Cora on the list? I think Cora's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cora was
46.
like,
Cora should be lower. I say Cora should be lower. I don't know where the original Last Airbender is.
it was top 15, top 20, something like that.
That's
I
where
don't
it should
think
be.
It was.
I thought it was.
I don't think it
Cora
was.
If it's
was-
not top 15, it shouldn't. It should be there.
The reason why I think Korra didn't do as well is because I get
Every
that like
season,
I get that
every-
Aang lived for so long, but they should have had some Avatar after Aang still, and then went into Korra because it seems like a weird time skip thing.
It is a.
It
It
does.
is a time skip.
And
No,
the
but
whole
I'm saying,
like
but it's a weird
and the
time
whole,
skip
like,
thing.
art style, like
It got more
the
serious.
steampunk like art style that happened. And,
What?
like, it got
It
got
was
very
low-key
city.
steampunkish
Didn't
It
watch
got very
Korra.
city centric.
It was steampunkish
because they were legit advancing in technology.
Exactly.
They went from like the medieval times, did a very
and that's literally what
sharp-
steampunk is that it's a sharp, weird technological boom with lots of weird contraptions.
I wouldn't say it was a
Doohickeys.
steampunk
Yeah.
animation. I wouldn't say it was a steampunk
It wasn't
animation.
It
was.
took a lot of influence
wasn't.
from it, though.
The whole art style, like it's
No,
Avatar,
you're
but
wrong.
steampunk.
The art
That's
style,
the art style.
no, the art
The
style
whole art
changed.
style was not they.
The art
legit-
style changed.
The art style, yes, for the better. It wasn't like oh my god, this is a crazy.
No, it
this is
didn't
a
get
crazy.
worse. It was
leap.
the fact that it went from a 10-year-old in medieval times who was like frozen in ice to a steampunk 16-year-old
It
degenerate.
wasn't a steampunk, and she wasn't a degenerate. She was legit just trying to live out her best life.
She was a degenerate.
Huh?
She was a degenerate.
How?
She's the Avatar competing in sports.
And what's wrong with that?
You're the Avatar. You're the savior. Did you just put? What? Can I have one of those?
Time out. I don't
Just gonna
think.
eat in front of him like that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it is. I don't think it's fair to shame Korra, because Korra was like.
I just thought it was
cool.
weird. It was a weird way to do it.
I disagree. I think I loved Korra. I think Korra was a great show, hands down.
I think when you go straight from like traditional like Asia type aesthetic straight into
they stayed in
Industrial
the tradition.
Revolution.
Okay, first off, I feel like everyone trying to make it seem like it's such a big leap, but it wasn't a leap. That's the time that she grew up in. That's legit the air, like that's been going on for years.
Yeah, I know. It's like how someone born in like 1850 saw like lanterns, and then they saw World War I and the telephone and fucking. I know. I understand the time leap because we do that in real life. It was the way that because of how the story was told, and that they didn't show anything after Aang, and then the animation style changes, and it's just
Comic
new
books.
Avatar, and Katara's just old as dick.
Legit
A lot happened
comic
in
books.
between that.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Legit, all that is written
Zuko
out.
reformed the Fire Empire and started a whole nother war,
Yes,
and they didn't show any of that or talk about it in the show.
Because again, the show
It's
wasn't
important to
about
the story.
Aang. It wasn't about
They
Aang.
didn't- and
No,
that's
it's
what I'm
about the
saying, is
world
there
that it's
should
in.
have been. They should have talked about it because Zuko's in the show. He didn't talk about. He could have been the Iroh of the show. Just the I really
Disagree.
fucked up after I became emperor and started a whole nother war after we finished World War. I started a whole nother one for pretty much no reason. He was mad about some dumb shit.
Again, comics. These are all explored in their comics.
What
Nigga, I don't got money
benders
to
would we
read
be?
Earthbender.
Waterbender.
Why?
He's a waterbender.
Why?
Very.
Because
You
you're
think
very
I'm
calm
peaceful?
and monotone.
No, not because you're peaceful. You're just.
Because they kind of suck.
Wow, that's crazy.
Phil's definitely an
That's-
earthbender.
Phil's a firebender.
No, Phil's not a firebender.
Fear-
Why?
Because you're crazy. Your mental
So we're
instability.
earthbenders.
No,
Phil's-
earthbenders are not crazy.
Phil's chaos isn't.
It's fire. That's legit fire.
No, Phil's
that's
chaos
why
is
you-
more earth because
No, it's more
because he's
fire.
doing it for his entertainment, not to
that's
just fuck
literally
over
what the
somebody.
fire.
Fire Lord did. He invaded the world because he thought it
Also,
would be funny.
he would be.
No, it's 'cause he
him-
wanted world
Him
domination.
and Azula would be a great couple because they would legit try to kill each other
We're
every
out
day
here
and
making
they'd get
ships
off
now.
on it.
Are we
Answer the
shipping
damn-
Phil and
We're
Azula?
out here making ships now. No. Stick to the question.
But no,
Tyler,
Phil's
what
an
about you?
earthbender for sure.
What do you think you do?
Earth.
Okay. I told Phil, I was
No
like, if Tyler,
airbenders?
I said if Tyler calls himself the Avatar, I'm punching him in the face.
Why would I say that? I would say if anything, I'm like an earthbender. Maybe
Maybe the Avatar.
maybe an
He
airbender.
said I'm the Avatar, but I'm like, I come from the Earth realm.
That's crazy. Shout out to Kyoshi. I love Kyoshi.
Kyoshi was a dog, and she was a lesbian. Well, she was bisexual, but
Kyoshi was like 7 foot, like 7'2", or like
yeah, no,
taller.
She was a 7'2" big like Chinese. With the Earth is like China. It was like the Far
No,
East.
it's all
No,
Asia.
No.
it's different parts
It's
of
the
Asia.
whole
No.
the
No.
story
The bending
starts.
styles are literally based off of different types of martial arts.
Yeah,
They're not all
They're,
Asian.
they're not. Yeah, I
the
was gonna
whole
say.
country is Asia.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
not.
It
Mark.
is.
Mark, no,
No.
it's not.
Mark,
Yes.
Mark, you're
the-
wrong.
No, you guys are wrong.
No, you're
The
wrong.
airbenders are literally Tibetan monks.
Yes, that's
That's
one
not
thing.
China.
That's
That's
Tibet.
Tibet.
I didn't say China. I said Asia.
No, because the waterbenders aren't Asian.
Didn't they claim that
natives.
or something?
They claimed it, but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Hawaii is America. Are they
Listen.
Americans? No, they're Polynesians.
Listen, the
Wait, they're American
waterbenders
citizens.
are Mongolians.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
The water
No, they're
brothers?
not.
Yeah, they're
No,
Mongolian.
the water
No, they're
brothers
not.
are quite literally not.
they're not.
They're Mongolian.
They're
They're
not.
They're in the
You're
frozen
fucking
tundra.
retarded.
They're
No,
frozen
they're
tundra.
Eskimos. They're Eskimos.
There's Eskimos in
There's
Mongolia.
no,
But
they're
there's
not.
They're
There
in
is.
Siberia and
Which is
Someone's
in
gotta keep it
Russia.
warm.
Alaska.
Someone's
You're
gotta
not
keep it warm.
smart. See, I knew he was wrong.
I don't want to talk
What?
to him anymore.
It's still in Asia.
Let's get a closing
It's
segment.
still in
then.
Asia.
What you guys want to talk about? What you guys want to wrap up with?
How Mark's retarded.
No, you can't do that. Also, you can't say that word.
You're mean.
How Mark's slow.
Remedial.
Retarded just
Not
means
that
slow.
one. Not that one.
MRDD.
He's not acting the smartest right now. That's
He said
correct.
Mark would have
How
taken
is
shop
wait?
class.
How is it
Mark's a
not based
spurg.
in the continent of
That's
Asia?
terrible.
They base it off a bunch of Asian things, like Asian styles, but if you
The
look,
world is
if-
based off of the continent of Asia.
But first you said they were Chinese. You said,
I did not. I
Yes,
said
you
nothing about Chinese.
You said
he
you
said
s-
that.
No, you said the Earth Kingdom was based off of China, and
No,
that's
I did not.
quite in fact
He
not
said
true.
China.
You know what? We
Yeah,
got the
Earth
playback.
Kingdom is China. The Earth Kingdom is
I
actually
was
China.
wrong.
But
So the Fire Nation,
Parts-
Japan.
yes,
Yeah.
parts of the of the Earth Nation are China. Because if you look at it, there's King Bumi, and then there's the actual big king. The Earth Kingdom is split into multiple different kingdoms. It is the biggest kingdom, and they also fight each other, or they used to fight each other until the war happened, and then they had to unify. But by the time they actually unified, the Fire Nation had already conquered half of the Earth
It's
Empire.
loosely based off of world history. If you think
That's
about it.
nice. So how you guys doing? Like, how's everything going? How was the week?
How was the
I'm
week?
glad we came full circle.
Yeah, did you trying to get to another closing?
What
Try
did we
to
do last week?
huh?
What did we do last week?
Last week?
I didn't do shit last week.
Did I see you guys last week? Other than to
Um,
record, did we do anything?
I don't feel like it. Not gonna lie to you, don't feel like it.
There's fights on tonight.
I did nothing.
Was your fights last week?
Yeah, there's fights
last
every
week.
week, but like it wasn't
No,
a
no.
fight night.
Stipe John Jones is confirmed.
Was it
loosely?
Was it Usman last week?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Usman
Yeah, it
last
was.
week.
Oh,
Oh, we
look at
did
that.
have a fight night last week.
Yeah, look at that. Look at me
Shit,
remembering.
I really don't feel. Maybe I do have a bad memory. Maybe
You do.
You're right.
You
Shite
do.
memory.
Boys,
We-
what are we doing for this Stipe John Jones fight?
Getting
Well, how's he gonna
hammered.
Get hammered.
Getting hammered.
Is the date confirmed? Confirmed?
Yes.
It's like July.
5th.
We should throw a
Okay.
giant
I thought July
fight night
28th.
party.
Is it July 28th? I know it's in July.
Y'all
It's like
wanna-
something like International Fight Month or
Yeah,
some.
International
I
Fight
can't
Week is always
believe
in
that
July.
John Jones is
Y'all
going to
wanna try
fight
and-
40-year-old
Y'all want to
Stipe.
try and get Paninis to do an event with us and throw fight night at Paninis on their projector?
I'm not against it.
What's
I'd
the
be down
most
for that.
What's the most optimal way to watch a fight, Phil?
With
The
your
most-
friends, hammered.
Yes.
No,
No,
what's
like
give me the whole setup.
No,
What's your
sit-
dream setup to watch a fight?
Sitting next to young Cap, and we have the opposing fighter because I'm always right when I'm sitting next to
it's
Cap.
kind of nice. No, the best way to watch a fight is just you get a bunch of buddies together, you get some food, you
Yeah,
get
but
some
there's a couple
beverages,
ways to do
and
it. You
sit
can
in
go
the
to
basement.
somebody's basement. You
or
can
a
go to a
living room.
movie theater. Movie
A
theater
movie
show
theater
it.
would be cool, but you can't be as like drunk and rowdy as you could be at your own house.
Who says?
Going to the actual fight is probably like that's something that I would want to do once,
I would
but I'd
love
probably
to
never
do
want to
that.
do it again because you're just gonna sit there. You're gonna pay an exorbitant amount of money to sit there and then watch the jumbotron. Because
It'd be one
unless
thing-
you paid a real
Ringside.
exorbitant amount of
If
money
there's
to be like
60,000
cage-side,
people inside of,
Boom.
Did you say fifth or eighth?
I said 5th. There's
Alright,
something going on the 5th. It's the 8th. Cool.
Because UFC 290 is July 8th.
Guys, wait, we're doing something July 8th.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Why are you
I'll stream that shit on my phone.
I was gonna say no, I'm kind of sick.
can we move it to the 2 weeks after that?
We'll talk to Greg.
We'll figure it out.
So we'll figure it out.
Um,
Bottom line,
Poor Stipe, because he's an old man.
He's
I don't
gonna-
think he should take this fight.
He's 40 years
But
old.
he's
has
going to get
to.
so much money
No,
from
he
it.
has to because of what John Jones said. He has to.
He doesn't have to do anything.
John Jones is really gonna. I beat the greatest heavyweight of all time,
No, Stipe's still going to be
And-
the greatest heavyweight of all time.
and it's gonna suck because
But
that guy
he's
was
not.
40 years.
He
Oh
is.
no, Stipe is.
Stipe's the greatest of all time.
Listen, after John
He's
Jones
had the
beats him?
most. He's had the most title
No,
defenses.
He's not
No.
doing
After
that.
John Jones beats him?
He's not doing
No.
that.
Well, legit,
If you beat
'cause-
somebody in the twilight of their career, it does not count.
I
if you
was gonna
beating them
say,
in their
is
prime.
is DC a better heavyweight or is Francis Ngannou a better heavyweight than Stipe because they both have a win over him?
Hey, listen, I'm just gonna
No.
say this.
Absolutely not.
When Joe Rogan is sitting down there calling the fight, and
Joe Rogan
and
also
John
just
Jones
said
wins,
Jorge Masvidal is better than GSP.
He did say that.
hey, shout out.
No,
he be talking his
he
shit.
said it in a
Joe
weird
Rogan hit
context,
him-
though.
No, Joe
I know,
Rogan
and
hit
it
his
was
head
still
during
wrong.
a Fear Factor recording. That's what happened.
It was also the episode with Luke Combs. That was hilarious.
If I can
Luke
say,
Combs?
if I can
Yeah,
say
he had
any,
Luke Combs on his podcast.
if I could say anything,
His dad's from Ohio.
I just
He
have
was
to
talking
say
about
this.
some weird, funky ass shit.
Say it, Tyler.
We're gonna wrap this up. It's been a pleasure. We love you
I'm
guys.
gonna wrap
Deuces.
Tyler up. I'm gonna wrap Tyler
I'll
up.
say
I'm gonna
I'll say one thing.
package him up.
Go Browns. We looking good this season.
Super Bowl.
We
Have a
looking
good
good this
night,
season. I
everybody.
don't know about Super Bowl. Playoffs.
Did you
No,
stop
say
the-
it, Super Bowl.
Playoffs. Bye-bye.